What do you do? Because it felt like that this year was the get over the hump year. When you lose in the World Series and then you lose in the NLCS, like the Phillies lost in the NLCS, let's not act like that was anything other than like that's a historic collapse. That was worse than the Eagles and what they did last year, in my opinion, in 2023. Like that was tough. Feels worse now than it did then, even because of what happened this year. But now you have to look at it and say, okay, World Series appearance, terrible loss in the NLCS, and you pretty much got beaten soundly by the Mets in the divisional series. Like now, and I felt yesterday, as I still do today, that the Phillies window with this core group has closed. Now, could they still win if they run it back with minor adjustments? Could they still win a World Series? Of course. They're still a talented team. They still have Bryce Harper. They still have Kyle Schwarber. They still have arguably one of the top three pitching staffs in all of baseball, if not, like number one. Bullpens has a lot of questions. There's still a lot of things they need to do, but this team isn't trash. This isn't the Phillies after they made their run. Ryan Howard blows out his Achilles, and then everybody's just cooked and they're done for a decade. That's not this team. But do you really have confidence going in to 2025 that the Phillies are going to win the World Series? With this core, I don't. And if you were paying me, if John Middleton gave me a call and said, "Listen, John, I'm gonna move on from Dave Dombrowski, looking for a general manager to run the team going forward. Would you be interested?" And I could totally see that happening. And I accepted the job. What would I do? To tell you the truth, I'm not entirely sure. But here's what I would try to accomplish. I would try to change the dynamic of this team. I would try to get a little bit younger if possible. The problem with the Phillies the last two seasons, when they're not scoring runs, when they're not hitting home runs, and when you face better starting pitching, better bullpens, it starts to get a little bit colder out. It's not July, it's not August, and you're not able to hit for the same power as the Phillies weren't able to hit for the same power. Think about it. Game two, what did they do? Hit back-to-back home runs, right? Like that has always been a big part of what they do. So when you don't hit home runs, you lose games. That's a problem. I need I need to maybe be able to have different dynamics of hitters that aren't necessarily relying on the home run.